Welcome back and happy Halloween. Hopefully, if you have kids, they're able to get some good treats out there. And remember the parent tax. I know that's what I like to do with my kids, especially if there's a Mars bar. So keep an eye out on that. And the reason why I am back for another video today is we're going to go over some news from around the Ontario Hockey League. The CHL Top 10 ranking was dropped today, with it now being the end of October. We have our players of the month and some news out of the NHL involving the Guelph Storm. So we'll get to all that. But first things first, let's look at the CHL Top 10 ranking. And a little surprising here, only two teams from the Ontario Hockey League are featured in this week's CHL Top 10. The London Knights, they fell to the sixth spot in the CHL after only playing one game this past week, and that was a 3-2 win in overtime against the Ottawa 67s. But for the London Knights, they stay on the board. And also making the cut, the Mississauga Steelheads. They're first place in the Ontario Hockey League, but they do come in at ninth in the CHL. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought Mississauga would have moved up. They went 1-1 with a 6-1 loss to the Barrie Colts. That was their first loss on home ice this season, and then came from behind to defeat the Kingston Frontenacs 4-2. And Porter Mortone, he had a natural hat trick in that game to come back. So I don't know if it's the 1-1 record or if it's because the Steelheads lineup is a little younger than what we see with the other teams being represented on the CHL Top 10. But Mississauga, they come in number 9. And then I was just looking at it out of curiosity. There are 4 teams represented from the WHL, and then the other 4 are from the QMJHL. And looking at the standings for both the W and the Q, I'm kind of surprised the Kitchener Rangers are being left out from the CHL Top 10 rankings. You know, they're the top team in the Western Conference right now. They have a solid lineup. They're 1 through 4 in the scoring race all come from the Kitchener Rangers. So I'm kind of surprised they're getting a bit of a snub from the Canadian Hockey League. I know the top 10 rankings don't mean anything, but it is fun for debate for all the fans across the CHL. So the CHL Top 10 showing the London Knights and the Mississauga Steelheads. Now, I haven't really been touching on players of the week, but because we have a lot of Barrie Colt fans who tune into the channel, I wanted to highlight the goalie of the week. And from Riverview, Florida, it's Sam Hillebrandt from the Barrie Colts being named goaltender of the week. He was sensational in his 2 appearances over the weekend, recording 2 wins, allowing 2 goals on 69 shots. Hillebrandt, he was busy. And he has a save percentage of .971 from those 2 games. So congratulations to Sam Hillebrandt. And it's really cool the journey he has been on. And, you know, being from Florida, he came up last year, was at Barrie Colts camp, and then joined the Stainer Siskins in the PGHL. Had a couple of emergency relief games in the Ontario Hockey League, and now getting some more minutes at the junior hockey level. And he's making it count. So Sam Hillebrandt, OHL goaltender of the week. And looking at the top performers of the month for the Ontario Hockey League, no surprise, player of the month, Carson Rakoff. He has 14 goals in 13 games, and 3 of those goals are game winners. So Rakoff, he had an amazing preseason, and it's just carried over into the regular season, and he's just one of the pieces that's making that Kitchener Rangers team really click right now, and we'll have to wait and see if this momentum can continue for Kitchener. The defenseman of the month, also coming from the Kitchener Rangers, is Hunter Brustevich. 5 goals, 20 assists, good for 25 points in 13 games, and that leads the league in points. So the defenseman getting things done. It's quite exciting to see what Brustevich is able to do, and of course, his brother is playing with the London Knights, so that just adds a little more of a rivalry. And I know there's questions about will Brustevich be moved before the OHL trade deadline. Same with Rakoff, but right now, if you're a Kitchener Rangers fan, you must be thrilled with how that team is doing, and we'll have to see if they can continue that going into the month of November. Now, the goalie of the month comes from the Guelph Storm. So up Highway 7, it's Braden Gillespie. He had a 7-3 record, and he leads the league in goals against average of 2.02 and a save percentage of .932. Gillespie, he has been stellar between the pipes for the Guelph Storm, a team that, you know, I think some people are overlooking. They're still missing Cam Allen, who's out due to injury, and then you have Matthew Poitras, who's been playing with the Boston Bruins. So this is a team that's missing some key pieces. So if they get those players back, maybe a couple of moves, and look out, the Guelph Storm could be a threat in the Western Conference. Rookie of the month, also coming from the Midwest Division. The Midwest, well represented. The Rookie of the month being Carter George, the goaltender from the Owen Sound Attack. He had a record of 5-2-1 in the month of October, and his goals against average 2.18 and a save percentage of 929 plus a shutout. And that was against the Sioux Greyhounds early October. So Carter George, the Thunder Bay, Ontario native, getting things done. I think if the Owen Sound attack are going to turn things around, it's going to be Carter George between the pipes. You got Colby Barlow up front, and then Cedric Gandon. He's been playing really good hockey of late. So the Owen Sound attack, another team in that Midwest that I'm sure will turn things around. And it just goes to show how competitive that division is. We've got the London Knights, who've been on the CHL top 10 ranking all season long. You got the Kitchener Rangers off to an amazing start. Guelph, they're right there. And also the Owen Sound attack. And don't count out the Erie Otters. They're another team. I know they're at the bottom of the division standings, but they're a team that can give a good run for their money. Kerry Torrance, he had a big weekend, and then you have Malcolm Spence. So that Midwest division is very tight, and it's going to be interesting to see if that continues into November. Speaking of Matthew Poitras, this news came out today. He'll be staying with the Boston Bruins. I know that's a tough break for the Guelph Storm, but you have to be happy for Poitras, who's been getting his ice time with the Boston Bruins. They're missing Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci, who both retired during the offseason. So there's that void down the middle with the Boston Bruins. And Poitras, he's being kept past the 9-game mark. I know for a lot of fans, they ask, is the guy going to make it to the 9 games, or are they going to send him back, or how's this going to work? So with that, he's burning the first year of his entry-level deal, and it's no surprise. He has 3 goals, 5 points in his season so far. And with this decision, though, it doesn't mean Poitras is going to stay in the NHL for the entire season. There's still a chance that he'll be sent back to the Guelph Storm, and wouldn't that be huge if Poitras came back to Guelph? The next milestone to watch, though, is the 40-game mark. And if he hits that 40 game, that'll move him a year closer to free agency. So that's how it works. The 9-game mark burns the first year of the entry-level contract, and then 40 is towards free agency. But congratulations, Matthew Poitras. That Boston Bruins team looking good so far at the National Hockey League level, and it's going to be some good experience. If Poitras does come back to the Ontario Hockey League, he's going to have a wealth of knowledge to share with his teammates at the Sleeman Center. So that's the news from around the Ontario Hockey League. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on some of these items. What are your thoughts about the CHL top 10 rankings? Talk about maybe the players that have been recognized for their performances in the month of October. And what do you think of Matthew Poitras? Put the comments down below. And remember to hit like and subscribe so you're notified about any other videos that come up. And we'll talk to you again soon.